I will say this about Kyler Murray of Arizona. There's nothing. He's not really anybody else in the league. He's not Russell Wilson. And later I'm going to show you he's a more athletic Doug Flutie, but everybody in life needs a kingmaker, somebody that supports you. Nobody ever supported Doug Flutie, who was a dominant high school player, a dominant college player, a 6-time MVP in the Canadian Football League, and was 21-9 in Buffalo, and they kept trying to replace him. If you look at Kyler Murray's numbers, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, passer rating 89, 90, but they put their arms around Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray is shifty like nobody I've ever seen, but go YouTube Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie was a 4-5 guy running away from everybody. He took a Boston college team and beat the best college football team in the country with no pros down in Miami. But nobody ever supported Flutie, 11th round pick. Somebody said, Kyler Murray, we're going to build a football team around you. And even though he's like a 90 passer rating, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, Kingsbury's like, he's my guy. I'm into him. I don't care about his height. He was bad in the first quarter last night. Sometimes in life, you need a kingmaker. Somebody, you may not be tall enough. You may not be this, you may not be that, but somebody that puts their arms around you, and Arizona has, it's really fun. Kyler Murray may not be the best quarterback in the league. I love watching Kyler Murray play. I love watching those games. They're so much fun. It's so unique. Doug Gottlieb, All Ball is the podcast. He is now joining us live, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. I said to start the show today that what makes a good friend makes a bad owner. A good friend is fun and loyal. A good owner is serious and bottom line and sometimes doesn't pay people he loves. And I watched Dallas, and they overpay, and Zeke's going to get 90. Derrick Henry got 50 million. And Jalen Smith's a second-round pick, and Jerry feels like, I got him. It's a great story, and they pay him early. And I look at Dallas, and I'm like, this is why owners shouldn't get too close to running the team. This is too much emotion, too much vanity. I think honestly, Doug, I think it's a rebuild. But I think there's too much ego involved to admit it.
No, I mean, listen, let's not freak out, okay? I think both of us have our questions about Mike McCarthy, and let's be fair. I think both of us would say the Mike Nolan hire seems to be an abject disaster to this point. But unless Mike McCarthy's a wizard or a magician, I don't know how anybody in football is going to lose their starting center to retirement, their bookend tackles for the year, and then their quarterback, who was leading the league in passer rating and was on pace to set new marks for yardage. Granted, I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the league, but you lose all that. Then you lose Zach Martin last night. What the hell did anybody expect? Right? Andy Dalton was on the market as a free agent for a reason. Andy Dalton was good in Cincinnati when he was surrounded by good players. When he wasn't, he can't rise to the team. Now he's not surrounded by any sort of offensive line. It doesn't matter what skill position players. You got no offensive line, you got no chance. So while you may be right, and we can debate Dallas and the contracts, because the truth is the way to win the NFL is to draft well and then keep your own guys. I do think that he grabbed Jalen Smith, and because he was mad at the Ezekiel Elliott contract thing, and just said, give me somebody I can pay, and he paid Jalen Smith. And the DeMarcus Lawrence thing is a disaster. He's just not as good as his contract. But they have a talented team. They're not close to healthy. And I don't know what anybody expects. Like, the Eagles don't have an offensive line or wide receivers, and so Carson Wentz looks terrible. Now, take Carson Wentz out of the Eagles, put the wide receivers back in, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what anybody expects from a team that is so depleted by injury.
So you and I were talking on the phone last night. There are pieces of data that we know Russell Westbrook's great, but everybody leaves him and they're better. That's data from 8 players. You look at Aaron Rodgers. This makes no sense. He has a losing record in his career when he trails at any point in a game. He has fewer come-from-behind wins than Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill. We know Aaron's great. Okay, but when I watch him throw his second pick against Tampa, and then he just changes, and it's dink, dunk. I'm not throwing the ball down the field. There is something about a foxhole quality about a quarterback, not a receiver, not a back. I don't like the word quit, but you saw what I saw, right? Like, after the second pick, Doug, he didn't play the same.
No, his body language was bad. Their team's body language was bad. They got their collective asses whooped.
Yep.
I'm sure he was frustrated with the line play, their inability to run the football, probably some of the play calling. You know, one thing that happened right before the interception, Robert Tonyan went down with injury. That's like his favorite little target as a tight end. And I think you and I also saw this. Like the pick six interception was kind of classic Aaron feeling himself. Like he didn't really step in and throw it. He just, Devontae, I'm just going to fling it out there.
Yep.
And he got taken back to the house. And so I think he got leveled out. Look, I'm the biggest Aaron Rodgers defender. He's the best thrower of football I've ever seen. He checks every box. But leadership is the question mark, right? Is he a galvanizing force? While your numbers are amazing, I'd also point out that like Russell Wilson's only, I think, 53%, whereas he's 47%. And oh yeah, by the way, we're watching Mike McCarthy and the dumpster fire that is the Dallas Cowboys, even before the Dak injury. And I think it maybe gives a little bit of credit to the idea that the Packers wasted the prime of Aaron Rodgers' career with an inferior coach.
Yeah.
So, look, I'll blame Aaron Rodgers for the body language. It's been bad before. It'll probably be bad again. That's part of what makes Aaron Rodgers Aaron Rodgers. Look, I've seen Tom Brady lay into dudes like he did last week in Chicago, and nobody says anything about it because he's Tom Brady. He's got 6 rings, but he played for a better coach and a better system for the last 20 years than Aaron Rodgers did. So I'm with you. I saw what you saw Sunday. Let's see what we see from the Packers this Sunday. Do they bounce back? Because they took a whooping like that last year with the Chargers in L.A., and they bounced back. We'll see what they do after getting their butts whooped in Tampa.
So Tua is starting. And first of all, we all know it's more interesting. So you and I and Joy are all in the interesting business. I can't wait to watch the Dolphins play. But it does bring up an interesting thing. Herbert has been so good, and Joey's been so good, that what if Tua comes out, Doug? And we've all said this. He's not Russell Wilson, the runaround guy. He's not ideal height. He played in a great system. And what if for like 8 or 9 games, you're the GM, and he's kind of spotty, and he doesn't look like Herbert? Herbert's big and huge, and he doesn't look like Burrow. And he's just the hip. He's not big. He doesn't and he doesn't win as much as Ryan Fitzpatrick did. Would it be outrageous to say, after 10 games, Arizona bailed on a guy, got Kyler, and we got 3 quarterbacks. We're going to have 2 picks maybe in the top 12. What am I supposed to take from Tua for the next 10 weeks?
I think you just have to see where he is. So here's the thing. You started, before you brought me on, talking about a kingmaker, and I agree, right? Like no person has ever made it on their own without somebody important believing in them. And part of the genius to Arizona is Cliff Kingsbury's known Kyler Murray could ball since he was in high school. He's recruiting him, and he found the perfect offense, the perfect coach. They're all in on Tua, right? I mean, you wouldn't be all in on Tua. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick played great Sunday.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. And he was helping Tua on the sideline get ready to go in, and he was cheering for him. Like the whole thing, he's got it down. I don't think you'll take anything from it. I don't. I think one of the things that Tua has, he does have that kind of magnetic Baker Mayfield-like personality, right? He galvanizes people. Guys love him. Guys believe in him. They want him to succeed. There is no animus towards his success in college. He doesn't bring in with the certain arrogance of some of these guys. He's less athletic, I think, than Russell Wilson, but there's a lot of those characteristics to him. He does know a ton of football, and having the bye week, he'll be really well prepared. But I don't think you can make any hardcore definitions over he's going to be the Dolphins quarterback for the next decade. They wouldn't have tanked all of last year, and then he fell to them. That's the greatest thing for them. The only evaluation that was the 2 things that are negative towards Tua is he has that Baker Mayfield thing as well, where he thinks he's a little bit more athletic than he actually is, and that's how he's gotten hurt.
Yep.
Right. But the second part is that he's a guy who I believe, can make plays when surrounded by really good talent, and it's going to take a while to develop. So I think they're all in on him. I don't think this is jealousy over Herbert or over Burrow. I think this was all part of the plan. You have a bye week. Fitzpatrick supports it. If he plays poorly, you can always put Fitzpatrick in. You know eventually it's going to be Tua's team.
Yeah. By the way, this morning, my herd hierarchy is the top of next hour. We got a minute left. It's really interesting. Who is your best team in the league today? This morning, your best team in the league?
I think it's got to be the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They're the team that you believe can because now they can run the football. That's the big thing. People forget when they lost Kareem Hunt, they couldn't run the football. They won the Super Bowl. Even despite that, now you see last night when teams are starting to take away their deep stuff, they get back to running the football. By the way, do you have Dodger fever? How can you not be fired up for baseball?
We are.
Or is it because the Dodgers had their hats on backwards the other night when they had an epic comeback and took down the very, very mighty Atlanta Braves? Of course, like all Georgia sports teams, choke the league. But anyway, how can you not root for Clayton Kershaw tonight? The best pitcher of the last decade in baseball, having a chance to finally eradicate the demons and win a World Series.
I have A-Rod on today. I am fired up for it. I do think they're the best team. Their bullpen, they don't have a closer. I think they're a closer away from being almost a perfect baseball team, but they don't.
Correct.
And the closers are everything in baseball postseasons. Good stuff.
Joy, I'd like to point out my beard is better than Colin's beard. And I've only been working on this for like a week.
It's a beard competition now.
This took me like
it really is. It's very big. Movember's coming up, Colin. You doing the mustache? We doing mustaches for Movember?
This is what I got. This is what I'm standing. I'm not getting crazy. This is what I have. I'm good with it. This is all I have. It's all I can do. I got to go.
I don't know if mustache is the way to go.
No, for me,
yeah.
It's absolutely not. My dad did it. It looked terrible. Doug Gottlieb, Fox Sports Radio after our show. Yeah, my sister, when I started growing this facial hair, she called me. She goes, "Oh, I love it." She goes, "Just don't do what Dad did." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Dad would go on vacation every summer and come back with a mustache, and we always said, 'Ooh.'" She said, "We're not a mustache family."
Yeah, mustaches are they're a commitment. It's
and
a look.
Some guys look good in them.
Yeah, and are iconic. I mean,
yeah.
Andy Reid's mustache.
He's not the same guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Bob
can you imagine
Reed
him without a mustache? No.
Coming up next, one of the things I love about Belichick, he takes all these football cliches and he says, "No, I'm going to go right at him." And we've got a new Belichick. His name is Mike Vrabel of Tennessee. He doesn't care what you think. He's not interested in cliches. His way, the new way. That and herd hierarchy coming up next. Want a 12-ounce ribeye? Don't have to buy the cow. Want to fly in a plane? Don't have to buy the entire row. Why are you paying for unlimited data for your cell phone when you only use 2 gigs? It's how big carriers hook you. Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T charge you obscenely monthly fees for data you never need and perks you'll never use. It's why you should switch to Pure Talk USA. They're on the exact same towers. You get the same great coverage. Don't have to change your phone. Don't have to change your number. But at half the cost. Unlimited talk, unlimited text, 2 gigs of data. Just $20 a month. It's going to save you over $400 per year. Get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 2 gigs of data for $20 a month. And by the way, I'll save you another 50% first month. Grab your phone and dial pound 250 and say Colin Cowherd. Dial pound 250 and say Colin Cowherd. That'll save you an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk.